I don't know if Renato Bellato has children, but if he does, they should be embarrassed. That was Rodolfo Bellato versus Paul Craig. It was the final fight of the prelims on Saturday. And if you missed it, it's towards the end of round number 1. Rodolfo Bellato's winning that round pretty soundly. Paul Craig is on his back. Bellato's on top. Bellotto is down clearly on one knee and one foot, so he is no question. There's zero question that he is a downed opponent. No controversy there. Paul Craig does a beautiful upkick. Very illegal, but very beautiful upkick. Rodolfo Bellato goes down, out. Referee Kevin McDonald jumps in. Stop. Illegal kick. Bellotto kind of comes to, eyes wide open, and starts wrestling referee Kevin McDonald. We've seen that happen before, right? Fighters get knocked out or choked out. They're dazed, they don't know what they're doing, and they kind of like attack the ref or they attack who's ever nearby. And Rodolfo Bellato's doing that to Kevin McDonald.
Wait, can we stop for a second and just appreciate Kevin McDonald? Because you could hear it in the call as we played it back and be like, hey, I tap out. Like, hey, trying to like calm him down.
Win.
I thought that was the funniest thing ever of a referee just trying, hey, no, it's okay. I tap out. Like, I'm good. I'm not coming after you.
You win, big guy. Congrats.
It's so good.
You earned it.
I just like a referee having that kind of presence of mind to be like, no, I'm a friend. You know, I'm not an enemy. Tap out.
Friendly fire. Fire. So Rodolfo Bellato is like scrambling on his back, eyes as big as saucers, looking around. Whoa, what's going on? Mouth agape. He's like flopping on the ground. What was that Australian breakdancer? Ray gun? Kind of doing like a ray gun?
Yeah, Reagan.
Stun gun, ray gun. He's ray gunning on the ground. Finally, like he kind of like comes to, kind of wakes up, finds his senses, whatever it may be. Little, and at this point, they're starting to run some replays of that. All right, clearly an illegal upkick. Okay, he's down. Okay, we're kind of seeing what's going on. The referees and commission people start getting involved. They look at the tape. They kind of rule everything, and they go, no contest, illegal upkick. Not DQ, no contest. That was the most flagrant flop that I've seen in a very long time by Rodolfo Bellato. Now, again, it was an illegal upkick. No doubt about it, right? Illegal kick. And I saw it on live in real time, and then it was confirmed to me on the several replays. Now, there's a second replay from the reverse angle that shows it the best. But you see Rodolfo Bellato get upkicked, and as he's falling to the canvas, he looks at the referee and shrugs his shoulders and puts his arms up like, what the hell? He's literally, as he's going down, looks directly at the referee. It's not like his head is falling in that direction and the ref happened to be in the line of sight. He looks directly at the referee, uses his shoulder muscles to raise his arms up, just like the emoji, what the hell, continues to fall down, and then closes his eyes and goes flat. Then, a second later, Rodolfo Bellato, Rodolfo de Luis, opens his eyes up like a pro wrestler who just had a double cross. Like he has the most pro wrestling face on. Mouth agape, eyes wide open. Huh? What? And then he decides to himself, oh, let me act like I don't know where I am and start doing some jujitsu from my back. And starts like playing guard with referee Kevin McDonald. That was the most flagrant flop I have seen in a very long time. Like, he looked like LeBron James, flopping on the ground, pretending to be hurt, pretending to, like, lose it. I almost wanted to give him props. It was like, wow, like, you had the wherewithal to start flopping and pretending you've been knocked out to the point where you don't know where you are and you have to start doing jujitsu. That was clearly and flagrantly a belligerent flop by Rodolfo Bellato. And he embarrassed himself in a way that is irreparable. I mean, he's going to have to be like a 3-division UFC champion for me to ever respect him again. Flopping has no place in mixed martial arts and should be eradicated. There are rules in NHL hockey that you can't flop or it's a penalty. I think it's called embellishment, right? It's the embellishment rule. This isn't basketball. This isn't soccer, where it's part of the game and you're playing the game. And I honestly don't even blame or make fun of soccer players for flopping because it's like embedded in the rule. It's part of the culture of the sport to pretend like now it makes the sport shitty. It makes the sport a joke. Like I can't make fun of LeBron James for flopping because it works. By any means necessary, try to get a win. Try to get a foul called on you. Try to get a player ejected. Try to get a technical. I get it. I get it. If it's in the rule book and it's part of it, go ahead and do it. That's why I really don't come down on fighters for fouling. Because MMA referees and MMA commissions and MMA rule sets have made it abundantly clear. You can kick a guy in the nuts, poke him in the eye, do all kinds of shit to him. You're not going to get a point, take it away. But this is where I draw the line. I do not want flopping in mixed martial arts. I do not want flopping in this sport. When that was a clear, flagrant, and belligerent flop by Rodolfo Bellato, I want the fucking book thrown at him. I want a suspension. I want a fine. I'm glad they turned it into a no contest and not a DQ. Because if Rodolfo Bellato was truly knocked out, right? Like if he really was damaged to the point where he couldn't continue, he would have gotten a win by disqualification, would have doubled his money, and it would have been a legit win. I would be on the airwaves right now saying Paul Craig screwed himself. He broke the rule. He injured his opponent with an illegal strike. Bellotto was unable to continue, and he genuinely and legally should win that fight. He should be the winner. He should have a W, get his win bonus, and be treated as if he knocked out Paul Craig. That's what I'd be saying right now. The only thing that makes me not like super pissed off about this is that it all started because Paul Craig did the foul. Like none of this happens if Paul Craig doesn't do an illegal up kick and kick up kick in the face a downed opponent. Like that's the only part of this that makes me like, okay, there's no real victim here, right? Paul Craig's not a victim here. He started it with the illegal strike. Rodolfo Bellato was put in this position because of an illegal strike. Now, he took a bad situation and made it as bad as possible, but it wasn't his fault this thing got started. That's the only kind of saving grace where I'm like, okay, no one was like, there's no victim here. They both fucked up. Like that's on both of them, right? But needs to be a message sent, and I'm so happy. I think what the commission did when they ruled it a no contest, it was because, like, look, Bellotto embellished. Bellotto flopped. We're not going to reward him for it. We're turning this into a no contest instead of disqualification. It's not often I give commissions praise, especially small state commissions like Georgia. But they absolutely made the right move here. We're not rewarding you for that flop. I think the commission should go a step further. There should be an investigation, and I think there should be a fine or a suspension. Send a message. You don't flop in high-level mixed martial arts. This is the sport that we go to as fans, where there isn't flopping. You hit as hard as you want. We're trying to rough people up, and you fight back. Football, you're not allowed to fart near a quarterback without a 15-yard penalty. You can't tackle him high. You can't tackle him low. You can't tackle him too hard in the middle. Not MMA. MMA is rough and tumble. This isn't soccer, where flopping is embedded in the culture of the sport. This is MMA. Not only do we not reward flopping, we punish flopping. The second thing I thought about was Anthony Smith, our colleague and friend here at SiriusXM. He was on the desk working the pre and post show. And I could not help but immediately think of Anthony Smith, Jon Jones, taking the most flagrant and brutal illegal knee I may have ever seen. An illegal knee that was so bad and so flagrant, Herb Dean took not 1, but 2 points away. Have you ever seen in your life Herb Dean take 2 points away? 1 out of every 100 fouls, Herb Dean will take a point away. 1 in every 1,000,000 fouls, Herb Dean will take 2. And he took 2 points away from Jon Jones for that blatant illegal knee to the head of a downed opponent. And I'm thinking of Anthony Smith, who said no to the championship, who said no to all the pay-per-view points, who said no to the prestige, who said no to that because he wasn't going to flop, he wasn't going to embellish. He wasn't going to embellish. He was asked a question, can you continue? And he said yes, because that was the truth. Yes, I can continue. And Anthony Smith would have correctly and legally been UFC champion that day. And forever. He would have been a legitimate UFC light heavyweight champion if he would have just stayed down, because he was clearly fucked up from that knee. If he would have just stayed down, he would have been champion. But he said no. This is mixed martial arts. I'm Lionheart, and I ain't bitching out. So you can imagine my enjoyment and my excitement listening to the post show on ESPN Plus on Saturday. What does Anthony Smith make of all this? Here's what he said.
I'm going to be hard here. I'm going to be hard on Bellotto. As the upkick happens, he looks to the referee to see if the referee realized that was illegal. He looks right to him right here. You see his eyes come to the referee to protest, and then realizes maybe I can get a free win. Lays there, pretends he's unconscious, jolts back awake, allegedly. Referee comes over. That is a man who is awake. Pretends to grapple the referee as if he's unconscious, trying to get a cheap win. I've been doing this a long time, and I know what it looks like when somebody's faking it. Here we go again. He's going to look to the referee. Oh, my God, that's illegal. Oh, I better pretend I'm unconscious. The jolt back awake. There it is.
This is WWE level stuff. This is
the worst performance. This is the worst performance I've ever seen.
I don't know if we call him Rodolfo de Lewis or Daniel de Bellotto. I don't think either one of them work, because Daniel Day-Lewis is like the greatest actor of all time. That wasn't even good acting. That's the other thing. It was terrible. There are actually people, there are intelligent human beings that I respect that are saying like, no, I mean, he was out. Like, why would he fake he was out? He was winning that fight. He's a fighter. He's a warrior. No, bitch. How are you fooled by this? He looked at the referee with eyes like, what the hell? Shoulders shrugging. And mid-fall, he's like, wait a minute, pivoting. I'm going to pretend like I'm knocked out.
I actually feel like you're being too harsh on the performance.
I think it was terrible. You bought it? You were sold by it? Okay.
No. But here's the thing. Putting aside the whole looking at the referee like, hey, I got a legal hit, put that aside. I'm saying from the moment he pretends, when he really truly starts acting, when he hits the ground and does the whole like jolt up and go, I thought it was pretty funny. It worked. I thought that performance was fine. He really layered it.
If it was a comedic performance, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. If it was a serious performance, 1 out of 10.
He layered it. He goes, okay, I'm going to pretend to be knocked out. Okay, and wake up. Now, okay, wait, what's going on in the fight? Well, looking around. You know what? Let me bring the referee on this. I'll just start, bottom kicking his legs and trying to bring him into guard. I thought it was all very well thought out.
Let me yes and it, right?
Yeah.
I got to be knocked out.
Yeah.
I have to jolt up awake. I have to look really surprised. And to put a cherry on top, let me attack the ref, because I've seen knocked out fighters do that before.
I'm so knocked out, I don't even realize that the referee is not my opponent.
I feel like the script was well written, but the acting is what torpedoed it.
See, this is what torpedoed it for me.
Other than looking at the ref saying, what the hell?
Well, again, before that. Okay. I'm just saying, once he decided he's going down this path, I was fine with everything, but he kept the confusion going too long. That was the one thing I'm like, you went a little too far with it. You took it past the goal line,
It was hitting every single note, right? Like when fighters are knocked out or choked out or frazzled from fighting, they either jolt up awake and they're awake, or they stay in that state and they attack back. They never do both. They never like jolt up and attack somebody. They wake up and say, what happened? Where am I? And they lay there. Or they're still in the state of fighting and that never ends. Like they get like kind of rocked, they attack the ref. It's never like they're unconscious and wake up and fight back. It's always they're like in that like gray area where like the engine's running but no one's behind the wheel. The engine never stops. The engine keeps going. It's just the brain that understands where you're at and what you're doing stops. So he tried to get the best of both worlds. He's like, oh, I was knocked unconscious. I woke up not knowing where I was, and then I attacked the ref. Like those things all never happen in this. They're never in the same combo, Neil. They're all a la carte. And he tried to like throw everything into the mix.
To your point, like usually when someone ends, like when they're kind of the way Bellotto was kind of sitting on their butt up against the cage when they have that moment with the ref, they might scramble a little bit, but usually they recognize, okay, ref, never mind. Like once the referee does that whole like, hey, I'm tapping out, buddy, like they go, oh yeah, all right, never mind, that's not my guy.
He like started and then stopped and then started again. And
when you see guys who really grapple the ref a little bit, usually I think that's a lot more times when they get face planted and they just dive in for a shot. They're not even looking, like they don't know whose leg they got just yet, and they keep going, and the referee is for dear life like, hey, stop it, no, ref, fight's over. Mm-hmm. That's when you'll see a little bit more prolonged, and it's because they're not even looking. They're still in survival mode and just hanging on to a leg and trying to do something. This was, it's like he looked at him. Kevin McDonald does the whole like, hey, I'm tapping out, buddy. Like everything's okay. And he's still like trying to like scoop a leg with his leg the entire time. It's like, all right, dude, I don't care how knocked out you were. You have to know that this is the referee now. You're looking right at him. It's not even like he's on your leg. You're trying to bring him in, and he's sitting at the end of your legs like, hey.
And then you stop for a minute, and then start it again, and then stop for a minute, and start it again.